What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D out here, downtown Detroit, 10,000 steps. Let's go. Topic at hand is Nintendo with the Switch. The Switch came out earlier this month. I think it was June 5th. I picked one up. My son picked one up. He's played his a little bit. I've played mine none. It was funny because when I picked ours up, I wasn't even expecting to find any that day. It was like, I want to say June 7th. I wasn't intending on getting a Switch for a while. I happened to walk into a GameStop where an old friend of mine works at, just to say what's up to him. They had two of them, a bundle and a non-bundle. Hit my son up and asked him if he was still looking to get his. He said, of course, because he wanted to get his day one. And I was like, well, you're in luck. I done found one for you. He Zelled me that money so damn quick. So I went ahead and picked up the other one for myself since it was there. But I have not played mine at all. He's played his, well, I'm not going to say very little. He has played his a bit. Anyway, the reason why we talking about the Switch, well, there's a few reasons. They say that third-party game sales for it are down. And I've got an idea of why that could be. I mean, for one, the third-party games that have come out for it, it is very likely that you have it for a different system already. Like, they came out with, what was it, the Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. I mean, that's been out for PS4, what is it, on PS4 and Xbox, and I think there might be a PS5 version, I don't know. But you might already have that for one of the systems if you wanted that game. Not to mention, that is kind of like a re-release of a game that came out somewhere around 2010, 2011. I mean, it was a while ago. So, yeah, there's that. I think they did another version of that Hogwarts Legacy. You know, that was a great game, actually. You know, I tried it out. I played it for a few hours. I always said that I'd get back to it and never did. I'm going to keep saying I'll get back to it and probably never will, or whatever. But aside from that, if I could really point out one key thing that I believe is stopping third-party games from selling, is this game key thing that Nintendo is doing. You buy a physical copy of the game, you pop it into the Switch, and it now downloads a digital version of that game onto your system. If you're buying a physical game, you want the game on the cartridge. You don't want to do any downloading. So that's going to discourage people from buying it. Now, why are third-party developers doing this? Well, it's kind of Nintendo's fault. Nintendo sells 64 gig cartridges. They don't have the smaller sizes like they did with the first Switch. They only have 64. I believe you can get bigger if you need to, but it's looking like the smallest size right now is 64. Nintendo may change that in the future, but Nintendo can be a bit weird and a bit anti when it comes to third party. Even though they want third party support, they have a record for kind of treating third parties like trash. If you're somebody like me that's old enough to remember how Nintendo behaved towards third parties in the 80s and 90s, you know that this came back to bite them during the PlayStation generation when they could just go elsewhere. Nintendo would choose how many games you got, how many games you would get to make. They would make them themselves. If you had a platformer, Nintendo decided how many carts you were going to get for it. And if they had a platformer coming out like a Mario game, they wouldn't release yours around theirs. You'd have to wait. If they made 200,000 carts for your game, but you only sold 100,000, you were still on the hook for those 100,000 additional unsold ones. So again, Nintendo treated third parties like trash. There have been times that this has come back to bite them where they didn't have any third-party support because the way Nintendo treated them when they were on top, they didn't forget it. Skip forward to now, Nintendo plays a lot nicer with third parties. But they acting a bit weird again with the Switch 2 because they're only offering a 64 gig cart, and their solution to only offering this size, because if there's a Tetris game or something like that that comes out, it doesn't need a 64 gig cart. And paying for the price of that cart is going to cut into their profit margin. So they went ahead and went along with these ceremonial carts. And the reason why I say ceremonial carts is because they're useless in terms of playing off of them. You pop it in your system, it downloads a digital version of the game. So you have a digital version of the game on your system that you can't access unless you pop the cart in. Well, that's kind of stupid if you're a consumer. You want a physical cart that you can just pop into any system and play it, that you can just loan it to your friend and they can play it. You don't want the silly game cart system that they're doing, and that's a large reason why. The first party stuff that Nintendo is doling out, it's selling as expected. But a contributing factor to that, let me cross the street here, is because the Nintendo stuff, from what I've seen, none of them are doing that game key cart stuff. Because Nintendo owns the carts, so they don't have to pay themselves for it. They just use the carts. It doesn't matter whether the game is 64 gigs or 6 gigs. They get to use the carts because they own them. So Nintendo isn't having to deal with this problem. Third parties are. But third parties are the ones suffering right now because of it. Another issue that Nintendo is having, well, this isn't so much Nintendo as it is consumers. I've seen that a few people have already gotten their consoles bricked, even though there's all types of warnings out there that if you tried to do the homebrew stuff with the Switch 2, your system would get bricked. Well, you had people, hey, what's going on, brother? How are you? Well, you had people that tried it anyway. Some people you can't give enough warning to. They were warned, they tried it anyway. The end result is their system is bricked. So you paid $450 for a system that you didn't even get to enjoy for a full month. It got bricked. You got to enjoy it, what? Today's the 21st today? 20th, 21st? I don't know. Oh no, it's the 20th because yesterday was Juneteenth. Okay. All right, so you got to enjoy it barely 3 weeks and it's already bricked. Because you were told it's not a good idea to do this, man. We gonna brick your console. We could probably figure out some workaround. How'd that work out for you? Now you literally have a $450 paperweight. It's a cool looking paperweight, but paperweight nonetheless. I've seen a lot more complaints about the Switch 2. I guess they really aren't that important to touch on though. Just people feeling like, oh, Mario Kart World, not that great. It's an okay Mario Kart game, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. I have the game, but as I said, I haven't played my Switch, so I don't know if they just really feeling that way or if they were just they had all this hype leading up to the release of this thing and it didn't live up to the hype that they had in their head. Could be a little of column A and column B, honestly. Let me get back to stepping though, y'all. I'm gonna leave it there. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. Hit me in them comments. I'm holla at y'all. Peace.